Hey folks, Denethor here. Those of you who know me know that I've been trying to get more YouTube content out there, and this isn't exactly how I wanted to do that. I was kind of hoping to be able to put some fun lore videos and things like that out there, but yeah, this is oh, there we go. So, according to a report that was released this morning, approximately 1,900 people between Activision, Blizzard, and Xbox divisions of Microsoft will be losing their jobs. This is a huge tragedy, as it always is, but unfortunately, the reality is with corporate mergers and acquisitions of this type, this is just a really common thing. This is what happens when companies take over other companies and certain jobs become redundant, or the new company deems a particular job to be uh, unnecessary, or maybe it's it's not an expense that they don't want to have. Maybe they feel like they can get a better deal somewhere else. So, what we know so far, Mike Ybarra and Alan Adham have both left the company voluntarily, and I say voluntarily because I know corporate mergers and I know acquisitions and I know how this goes. And while it may not have been an aggressive move, it might have been all right, well, we're going to put somebody new in here, so you can hang around if you want, but you're not going to be the leader anymore. We're going to put somebody else in his place. And so yeah, and then you have the choice. You go, well, do I take this huge, amazing severance package, or do I stay here doing not my old job because they don't want to fire me, but I don't want to quit? And there's no need to be stubborn. Just take the money and run. That's the honest truth. Alan Adham, as many people have pointed out, left the company in 2004 and came back in 2016 and started pushing the mobile games really hard. So we have Alan to thank for games like Diablo Immortal and Warcraft Rumble. If you like that sort of thing, that's great. If you don't, well, now you know who to blame. And he's no longer there. So so there's that right off the top. You have two that are gone. Or that will be gone. There's no details on when exactly they will be walking out the door and turning in their little badge. But yeah, this is a big news, because while okay, so people might have seen it coming if you worked in HR, if you worked in payroll, if you worked in IT. A lot of those positions, they don't need duplicates of them, especially local to Irvine. So you can run that stuff out of a decentralized data center. Honestly, they could probably run a lot of that stuff out of the United States. As somebody who's worked very closely with Microsoft over the years, I know that a lot of times when I call for Microsoft support, I'm not getting somebody in the United States. I'm getting somebody from a call center in maybe India or Argentina or something like that. And these people are no less knowledgeable about the software and about the products that Microsoft provides, but it's not local. So there's no need for them to pay an engineer in the United States X amount of dollars when they could pay somebody in a foreign country a tenth of that. So, and say what you will about humanitarian, but that's the reality of business. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. In addition, you have so I saw today that some of the game masters, or I guess the entire game master customer service department, so you have all of the people who do the forums and the internal game masters, the internal support for the developers, all of those people have been let go, and they are being replaced by third-party vendors who will be providing the same support. Now, obviously, those people are not going to be able to provide the support in the way that those people necessarily need, at least not right off the bat. I've been part of many mergers where the new company comes in, and the first thing that they do is they fire all these people. They go, oh, we don't need to pay all these people, or we don't need them on payroll. We can hire contractors to do this work. Then, of course, down the road, what ends up happening is that those same people have to get hired back on, or different people get hired back on, because it turns out that the third-party contractors can't do the job as well. They're not as good at it. They're not as focused at it. They're not. It's just not the same. So, unfortunately, that's the reality of the corporate world, and it's something that is now hurting a lot of people that once worked for Activision Blizzard. Unfortunately, yeah. So, on top of that, you have some the survival game. So you have some people that work for certain game units that were either the entire unit was let go or the unit was trimmed up. So the survival game was canceled. So anybody that was attached to that game directly is probably going to be let go. Anybody that is maybe who was helping out with that might be moved to a different department or a different unit. It just depends on how their internal, how they handle that internally. But yeah, this is really unfortunate, but honestly, it's not unexpected or unforeseen. This is a really common thing. Like I said, this is something that you got to deal with. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to get out there and kind of say my piece on this. I know a lot of people are hyperbolizing out there and saying, "Oh, well, Microsoft is going to end Blizzard. Microsoft blew up Blizzard, or it's the end of all the great things we had in Dragonflight. Those are all gone now." And that's not the case. Yeah, it's going to be hard for some people to get their jobs done like the way that they did before, because they don't have the support structure that they once had. But honestly, this is common, and the people that are left behind will pick up the pieces and they'll restructure and move on. I've worked places where I've had people who go, "Well, you can't run this department without me." And so when they left, guess what? The department kept on. It's just work keeps going. So and unfortunately for the people who got laid off, the corporate knows that, and so they know that everybody is dispensable. And we used to call it the bus test. Does anybody pass the bus test? Where could the company continue on if they got hit by a bus? And the reality is, pretty much everybody could. Even that person that knows all the secrets, when they leave, and you go, "Oh crap, we don't have the password to this thing, or we don't have the key for this whatever." Well, you just start over, and you clean it up, and you move on, and that's just how it goes. I've never worked anywhere where somebody was so valuable that we just couldn't let them go, except for one place. I worked at one hospital where they had these old servers running on some old software, and the only guy who knew how to do it was and this was in the 90s, so this was like some 50-year-old guy who probably worked on computers when they were using the old data cards. Anyway, they didn't let him go. He didn't really do anything, but he was just there to work on those old servers. Anyway, little side tangent for me. Yeah, this is the big news, and it's going to dominate the news cycle. I'll probably talk about this a little bit more on the podcast as more news becomes available. But like I said, I just wanted to get something out, and yeah. So if you've watched this, thank you for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I do intend to get more content out there. And if you are so inclined to listen to my award eligible podcast, Azeroth United, there will be a link in this video. I think we're at 18 episodes now, which it's pretty good for a new podcast. I definitely am starting to feel the weight of running it solo. I'd love a co-host. But all the people that I've asked are too busy, so it's just me for now. Anyway, that's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you in Azeroth.